Well, hey everyone, welcome back to the Tales of Recovery podcast. This is Gris Alves, your host, and my special guest today is my friend Yasmin Beydoun. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
I'll say it again. Who I met at a compassionate inquiry circles. It's like 10 weeks of compassionate inquiry in circles, a very powerful experience, and we just connected. And so Jasmine, I asked her to come share at the podcast. She's a trauma-informed consciousness coach, certified by Dr. Shefali's Coaching Institute. I love Dr. Shefali. She's the bomb. And trained in the compassionate inquiry approach with Dr. Gabor Mate. Her approach blends somatic healing, neuroscience, and emotional integration to guide high-functioning women and men out of survival mode and into lives rooted in self-trust, clarity, and regulation with foundational lifestyle practices, mindfulness, movement, and nutrition to create a holistic and practical path to transformation. Um, Thank you, Jasmine. That sounds beautiful. And before we start and go into, because there's always a journey to get to that, right? We don't just,
Arrive.
yeah. But I think, and I was telling you a little bit before we hit record, how important it is that women, I mean, anybody really, but a lot of women listen to us, a lot of men too, but just that in this stage of our life, 50 plus, we take all of our life experience as we're doing our own inner healing work and alchemize this, transform it into opportunity to serve others, to serve other
Yeah.
people that are still coming along, that still maybe haven't gone through it, and to allow people to see that there is possibility and transformation. Yes, you can heal. It's available for everyone. And so thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm excited to everyone to listen to your story and how you got here. I know that you're currently living in Portugal.
Oh, yes.
You're born in
Yes.
Lebanon. So you just tell us.
Wow. Hmm. So I was born in the war generation, the Civil War generation.
Mm,
Um, in the early 70s, I think I was 3 when the war started. And I knew nothing else until we left Lebanon at the age of 12. Um, The
mm,
thing about growing up when everyone was going through the same experience is that it becomes a normalized way of living. This collective war trauma becomes a normalized way of living. Everybody is sleeping in the shelters.
mhm.
Everybody is either going to school one day or not. Everybody has moved house of some sorts. Everybody has had someone affected. People have had, based on your religion, you may have or may have not moved from an area to another because Christians and Muslims became separated. Everybody is affected. So you're not alone anymore. You are
Mm,
a collective, a part of the collective. And so it becomes a normal thing. So if you have food on your table, a shelter, a shelter over your head that day,
right.
you have nothing to complain about. And
Wow.
so everything gets stuffed in growing up. Plus, you are living and being parented by extremely stressed parents who are in absolute survival mode. So, yes, we have periods of calm, not saying no. We have weekends where we went to the south, where my grandfather had land, and we would play. And we went to the Bekaa Valley, where we also played, and we had beautiful memories growing up. But the overarching dome of my childhood was the until I was 12 was the war,
Mm,
the collective war,
mm.
and uh, and growing up with very emotionally unavailable parents, and very very stressed as well.
Do you have
Not to mention,
siblings? Did you have brothers and sisters?
I have they're younger than me, yes, and they also experienced the same. But when we left and moved to Cyprus, when I was 12, my sister was 8, my brother was 4. So they have a different experience.
Right.
And I think to add onto my experience, I moved so many schools and systems for various reasons. I just feel compelled to mention it because that's also a thing that was quite common. So I was in a grew up in a German school in the Deutsche Schule in Beirut till I was 9.5. Then I moved to an American system. That's next year. And then I moved to another Lebanese system. And then we moved to Cyprus to another Lebanese system. And then I moved to a British system. So I was in 5 schools in 5 years before the age of 13. And that really shook the foundations of my friendships, of my academic standing, and of my confidence. I would walk into a classroom, although my personality is a lot more bubbly than that, but my academic confidence was.
Yeah.
So, and we lived in Cyprus in a very safe but boring and small town, where my parents continued to be very stressed because the radio was on the whole time, the newspapers, it was all that they could talk about, even though we were safe.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after that, when I was ready for uni, I went and immigrated to Montreal, Canada, where I studied and lived for 5 years. They were beautiful years, tough, but they toughened me up even more.
Were you by yourself or with your parents, or you came by yourself?
No, by myself. With my cousin and I lived together. She's my age, so yeah. And after that, the war had ended. I mean, these are just chronologies. I'll go into other, yeah. After that, when I was about 23, I went back to Lebanon. The war had ended. My dad was like, either find a job or come back. So I went back, and it was really a beautiful period that I am very happy I experienced, because I hadn't lived in Lebanon as an adult. And I experienced the regeneration, the buildings, peace, and optimism, which we hadn't had for for decades.
Yeah.
And that's where I met my husband. We met at work, and we fell in love. And within 4 years and something, we decided that Lebanon wasn't actually going up; it was going back down. And we decided to move to Dubai. And we went to Dubai for 18 long years. We had Dubai wasn't the same as it is today. Dubai was a smaller, cozier town or city that was just developing on steroids. And so within like 12 years, it was another city completely. I worked in the corporate world, in human resources. So I've always enjoyed working with people, in direct connection with people. I worked a lot in recruitment, training, and development. And I did that for about 14 years before I decided I wanted to focus on having a child, because that wasn't working out. So I'll stop here for a minute about my life. Maybe I'll just add that I moved to Portugal. I think I would like to talk about Portugal in another context. So I'm sure it's going to come up.
Yeah. So how many languages do you speak?
It sounds like I speak a lot, but I don't. I just understand German a little bit. I understand French. I don't really speak it. I'm now speaking Portuguese because I live here. My English is actually my first language, although Arabic is my mother tongue. Right. So because I went to the German school, I didn't study Arabic as a child. So it's just very convoluted.
Yeah. But you can understand it, speak it?
Yeah. I speak it fluently. I understand it. Yeah. But I don't read and write Arabic.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's still pretty cool.
I might take it up soon, because I'm re-falling in love with my culture and my language.
Yeah, we were just talking
about Arab culture. Yeah. But
I'll just let people know here that we've been planning this podcast for about a couple months.
Yes.
Just a few days ago, you sent me a picture with Michelle Button. You're like, look who's...
Yeah. So Michelle is this beautiful medicine woman from Mexico who lives who lives in Mexico, in fact, but has a strong connection to San Diego because I think her family lives there.
Mhm.
And yeah, we had an amazing medicine ceremony about 10 days ago in Azeitão, south of Lisbon, under the sky and then under the stars, with amazing music and rituals and prayers and grounding and presence and remembrance of who we are as people.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Were you guys up all night?
No, I think, oh no, we started 5 p.m. and we finished around 1:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's nicer. Some people keep you up all night. It's just like, I'm too old for that shit.
Ah, yeah.
I mean, unless it's happening, whatever. But that's really cool that, it's just how we're interconnected everybody is. And yeah, it just the same thing happened to me right now. Go to New York and some friends in San Diego and the medicine crew just yeah, we're it's a really important shift in consciousness right now.
Hmm.
Open hearts and the connection. So,
Definitely.
and I think when we're doing all this work is how we get a little bit more aware of it or open to it. So, how did you get into, Dr. Shefali or Gabor? How did you get into practicing,
Mm.
yeah, teaching trauma?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. Well, I'd have to go a bit further back before I can arrive at this question. It's trauma. It's my life, it's trauma.
Right.
So yes, growing up as a war child, that's for sure. But also there was a lot of emotional neglect, and I say that with all my love and respect to my parents that I'm very close to. I have a beautiful relationship with my mother, but and it's not about forgiveness. She was who she was at the time. This was the best she could do, and I honor her for it. But there was emotional neglect, there was shame, there was a lot of gaslighting growing up, a lot of, as I said, stress in the house. So, your voice cannot be heard, your feelings, everything cannot be expressed. You have to walk on eggshells, wondering what's going to happen next. And I was sexually abused when I was 12 years old. Uh, and my mother found out, but she didn't believe me. She thought I had participated willingly. So
Wow.
that added, I think that was worse than
Yeah.
the abuse itself. And Gabor says it's not the event of the trauma, it's what happens inside you as a result of the event.
Right.
And I remember viscerally until today how I felt my blood dry when my mother told me she didn't believe me. Like I literally felt my entire body just constrict and dry up. And that pivoted my relationship with her and with myself
Right.
very much. I went from being a good girl to a rebel. And I started not caring at all about anything anyone said to me. I started drinking and smoking. And by the time I was 18, all this not being heard and not being seen showed up with me cutting myself.
Mm.
And again, even though my mom did find out, um, there was a wall of nothing, like there was no reaction. And so I internalized it all. I was a very overweight teenager because I put on the weight so that I wouldn't be attractive and I wouldn't attract more predators. But that also created another cycle of shame and of bad self-image. And a Lebanese and their self-image.
I think
It's
they're a lot like
pretty,
Mexicans, right? Like you have to
yeah.
sort of
Or yeah,
always
absolutely.
sit up straight.
Yeah, I look pretty all the time.
Mhm.
Be pretty all the time, not just look it. And so that's the trauma. But what I was developing during that time was a very tough, thick shell around me
Right.
to protect me. And how did that show up in my relationships? It showed up as a needy person, a person who needed validation all the time. It showed up as just a very dysregulated nervous system, not able to focus, not able to sit. I mean, literally, I couldn't sit. I think I had ADD, or probably still do, but to a larger extent when I was young. Um, I shut down my heart, but then I would, at the slightest connection, I would open my heart, fall for the wrong person, and then be hurt.
Yeah.
Um, what else? I continued to soothe myself with food, and then I started discovering drugs in my 20s, more alcohol, and although I was working and I was productive, but
Soothing the pain.
yeah, exactly, the pain.
Yeah.
I couldn't sit with myself, without smoking a cigarette or eating something or drinking something or saying something or standing up. I mean, I couldn't sit.
Yeah.
And the more I learned about why I chose weed as my soothing drug, I actually have so much compassion for myself, because that is what I needed, to
Right.
sit and be still and to calm my mind. I was self-medicating.
Yeah. To get in the body for relief.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To not feel the pain.
I mean, the first time I ever smoked cannabis, I was maybe 16, 15 years old. Well, the first time I didn't really feel it. I was like, what's going on? But then the second time, as soon as I realized, like, wow,
Ah,
this is like such a relief. Like, I'm not stressed out or running around, hyperactive. It was
yeah,
like, chill.
yeah. And then you're laughing when you're
Yeah.
doing it with friends, you're laughing. I mean, laughter, it's the medicine for your nervous system.
Yeah.
And it brought us together, a group of us. And so I was self-medicating, but it was getting worse because the pain was getting worse. And then in my early 30s, I started trying to get pregnant, and that wasn't working. And I just had like a shock, like, what? Like, as a woman, this is my God's given right to be pregnant. Like, I couldn't understand why I couldn't get pregnant. And it really hit me hard. And I sort of fell into a depression, trying to get pregnant and not being able to get pregnant, and doing IVFs. And yeah, and then finally I decided to stop working so I could focus on that journey
So on the journey
uh,
to getting pregnant.
of getting pregnant. Yeah, and I finally did get pregnant, and I had Leif in 2009. He was born in 2009.
2009. How old,
Yeah. Sorry,
how old were you when he was born?
I was 37.
Okay.
So I was desperately wanting to be a mom. It was such a beautiful thing. And my husband was so supportive, to allow me to not work, to let me, okay, you don't have to work if that's not what you want to do anymore. And I couldn't imagine myself back in the corporate world.
Right.
And then 6 months later, when I stopped breastfeeding, I naturally got pregnant.
Oh,
What were the odds? They were like 0.0 nothing percent for me and my husband. And I was naturally pregnant because my body had rebooted itself after pregnancy and breastfeeding. And I was so happy. Oh my God, I was on cloud nine. Like, my son was not even 9 months. And yeah, and then the child, I named him Raphael. And I think he's my awakener. His soul came into this world to wake me up. And he died in his heartbeat stopped. He died in my womb when I was 32 weeks pregnant. So I was pretty big. I was ready to deliver. I happened to be in London at the time, luckily, because the medical service was very good for that. And it was a horrific experience.
yeah.
Yeah, but I really Didn't understand this until I reflected how deeply, like, he came to break this shell. He came into my life. He sacrificed his soul, what his journey, however I want to look at it, to wake me up. So maybe I've seen him and been with him in another life, probably.
Mhm.
And but that was what my son was growing up with a very stressed, traumatized mom who had just lost a baby, who had been through this trauma. So I was parenting from that space again.
Again.
There was no war, but everything was downloaded on my sensitive, beautiful son. And then another series of events, things were happening. I also menopaused at 42, which was very early. And other events just started to unravel in my life, and I just couldn't keep up. And I kept self-medicating, and it just wasn't working until my son, my Leith, became ill with rheumatoid arthritis when he was 3.5. And
Wow.
when he was about 5, and I would like to circle back to that
Of course.
because that's my wellness journey. And when he was about 5, he was declared in remission. And that is when I broke. That's it. That's it. Like, she told me, your son is in medical remission. And I unraveled.
Hmm. What did that look like? You unraveled like
I
emotionally?
just emotionally fell into a depression. I could not stop crying.
Right.
I was taking an interior design course at the time. I was so excited about career change, and I was in a very serious course. It was my second year at Inchbald in London, and I was doing really well, but I could not
Do it.
focus anymore. I could not hold my drawing pen anymore. I could not do anything. Um, and now looking back, just thinking what Leith experienced, his mom going through, plus he was going through this illness. It must have been awful for him. But it looked like, okay, let's start therapy.
Oh, so that's when you started going to therapy?
Yeah, it was 11 years ago. I had been to therapy when I was trying to get pregnant, but I attracted a therapist. I don't know. I attracted a therapist that told me my sexual abuse was an abuse, that what I was going through. Yeah, so very interestingly, the universe did not want me to start therapy at that time because I attracted a therapist who gaslighted me
Mm,
about my experience.
yeah, it wasn't the time yet, I guess.
It wasn't the time yet. Yeah.
I know some of these therapists. I mean, yeah, it's kind of why I got into somatic work because after a while, the talk therapy is like, some of you guys are, first of all, I hated to be analyzed over here with like a little notepad. I'm like,
Yeah.
analyzing, like, what is this? Yeah, so I mean, did you start with the cognitive behavioral therapy or did you go straight into somatic work? How did,
Uh, I was lucky because I had a therapist who was a mindfulness and yoga teacher before she became a psychotherapist. So she immediately introduced meditation uh, into my modality. And yes, she did psychotherapy. And then after 2 years, she's like, I don't want to see you anymore. I'm like, what do you mean? I still have so much. My relationship with my mom, hello. And she's like, okay, we'll do a few more months for that. But still, and then she set me free. She said, Yasmin, you need to start looking for your next spiritual guide. I
yeah.
was like, what is she talking about? But then I found Dr. Shefali's work. And I said to her, I think I found my next spiritual guide. Because Dr. Shefali's work, the beauty of and the genius of conscious parenting, which of course attracts parents because they think, oh, we're going to be the best parents for this child. But what it is, it's healing you as a parent so that you can parent from a healed place.
Exactly.
And that immediately fixes the connection with your child.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
But
I, I,
let's just
I took a few courses with Dr. Shefali before I did the certification program that she offers.
okay. Yeah, and so I would like to repeat what you just said, you know.
Yeah.
go in and you think, I'm going to take this conscious parenting class, or I'm going to do this so that I can fix or parent better this child or help them, whatever, when in reality, what needs to be helped is inside of us, alchemized, seen, transformed. And the more we are at peace with ourselves, then you just said, yeah, that, the relationship with your child is going to be so much better because there
Yeah.
is that trauma bond, that expectation, that interaction. No, it's just
Also the hierarchical approach, the old paradigm of parenting, the hierarchical approach to parenting, the it's so convoluted. There's a lot of unseen things. So the parent knows best, the child doesn't know. That's the traditional trajectory of parenting. The Gosh, I forgot that list, but I recognize it when I see it. Um, what can I do to fix my child? And the child did this to me. They triggered me.
right.
No one can trigger you. You, like Gabor says, you already have the loaded gun.
Yeah.
They just do this, but the trigger is all inside you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so I work with mothers and parents and individuals who, well, mothers come to me with, I'm having this connection with my child, or I want to parent better. My children are nearing teenage life, and I don't know if my connection with them is right. Whatever the reason they come in, but very quickly we start working on a one-to-one basis and then the relationship with the child sort of starts improving because the child is always so much more present than the parent. So the
Right.
child starts noticing the presence, the attunement of the parent,
Mm.
the connection to self of the parent. And when that starts happening, the child starts opening up a little more
Yeah.
and a little more.
Yeah. And they're a little more calm. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. Yeah. It's so powerful to see. It starts with me. It starts with me.
it starts with me.
Right.
Yeah. But
A lot of,
yeah, and I've had parents who've done a discovery call or a discovery session, and many actually, not few, and they're like, no, this is not for me. Because it's all about, they realize it's all about them.
it's
Yeah,
intense, it's intense. It's not easy to go in there and open the curtain and be like, oh my God, I've been living completely blind and in an own, reality that's just it's not healthy for me, for anyone else. And these constructs, this social engineering, these religious beliefs, these shoulds. So to even go there could be
yeah,
I always say, that's probably worse to live behind the curtain than to open it and see.
yeah.
But I understand 100% when people might be like, no, no, no. I mean, it's not even a conscious thing. Usually it's just like, what is this person talking about? I'll go to the so, but that's I think the whole point. Open the curtain, check
Yeah.
it out.
And take your time, no one is in a rush. No one needs to be where anyone else is.
Or-
Sometimes a process may take you a year, sometimes it takes you 3 months, sometimes it takes you an hour. It doesn't matter. It's yours.
Mm. Yeah. Gabor says,
It's yours.
it doesn't really end until you die.
No, he says
Always
exactly.
move.
I love how he talks about when I was young and stupid at 72, which was like a few years ago.
Yeah,
He
it's
still
true.
talks about his process, and I love that humbleness. And
Yeah. Like
yeah.
how did you get to compassion inquiry training? I mean,
So after I finished after I did my training with Dr. Shefali, very, very shortly after, I did a short course, a trauma CI short course, and I integrated it into my work, and it changed my work because now we were doing somatic work. Now we were with the body, with the feeling, and it made so much sense. And because it helped me process my own journey, I was very drawn to it.
mm,
But I wasn't ready for the year-long course. I had fear around it. I had heard that it's tough, and I just had fear around it. But
it's tough.
after October 7 and Gabor's stance on the genocide in Gaza, I completely decided that that's it, I'm going. Like, I don't know why that particular time brought me there. And that's when I chose to do it.
Yeah. How was that?
Transformative. Yeah, that was a very tough year, very transformative. I met some amazing people, but I processed a lot, and I touched and 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 I touched on a lot of the collective trauma that I had talked about earlier on. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, but the journey continues. I'm applying for the mentorship program now, which I'd like to start in August.
Mhm. Yeah, it keeps
Yeah,
going.
it's like you said, it's a never-ending thing. You know, we start somewhere and we keep going. We don't arrive. It's a journey.
And also, if it's like if you're practicing, you know, one-on-ones or groups or hosting people to a lot of, I always have to be all myself learning with a mentor, my own therapeutic process. Um,
Yeah.
it's like we're always, I sense like I'm always teaching what I need to learn. So it's like a constant expanding and moving and growing, but maybe every time with a little bit more joy, less, more lighter. I mean, it comes and goes, but
Okay.
let me ask you this. Let me bring it back because you said you wanted to touch back on when your son had the rheumatoid arthritis and you began the whole wellness. I'm assuming,
Mhm.
how do you want to talk about that? Like how, 'cause I think it's
I
important.
just, well, this is how I integrated my wellness. Wellness became a big part of our household because he had an autoimmune disease and the meds were not working enough, hard enough. And the doctor didn't give a prognosis. And so something in me was like, okay, you need to take matters into your own hands now.
Yes.
Um, and so I changed his diet. We took out gluten, sugar, dairy, and I gave him turmeric supplements, just something downloaded.
Yeah.
Give him turmeric supplements, uh, cinnamon supplements. And within a month, he was off steroids. And within 6 months, he was declared in medical remission, although he continued to take the weekly injections, which are, I have to say, my child went through medical trauma because on a weekly basis, he took this methotrexate injection, which is like chemo it's
Ooh,
like a chemo in a different dose. And it would make him vomit and feel nausea for 2 days. And then he would have another 5 days just to recover from it, worry about the next one for 4 years.
my gosh.
Yeah. And then he had a recurring inflammation when we had moved to Portugal when he was 12. The doctors gave him the exact same prescription without even taking a blood test. And I remember coming home and my son ran to the toilet because he could still feel the medicine in his system. And he's like, Mom, please, I beg you, I will do anything, but please don't put me on the medicine again. And I knew that I had to listen to him.
Yeah.
So I did what Yasmin does. I jumped into the unknown. And, I'm the plug in, play late. I'm the plug and play type of person, not to read instructions. So that's what I did. I said, okay. And I jumped and I don't know where I went.
Mm.
And within 3 months, he was in a wheelchair. His feet were so swollen, he couldn't walk anymore. He stopped school for 6 months. The whole environment in the house was very different. I was bombarded by loving phone calls that were telling me, "Are you crazy? Put your son on the meds.
Right.
Are you seriously playing doctor now?" And I'm like, he doesn't want them, so I need to find the right practitioner.
Right.
And we did, and we found a doctor in England who would take your hair samples to test all your toxins, to test your gut health, to test your minerals and vitamins and what you can and cannot digest.
Mm.
And she would put you on a diet, give you the right supplements, and then you wait.
Mm.
So it took about 4 months before he was on crutches, and another 3 months before he walked without them,
Right.
and another year before he built his muscles again and became completely pain-free and active. but it was one hell of a journey. And
Yeah.
so the way we eat at home, the way we focus on our the message from our body, the way we listen to our body, the way we listen to what um, reactions are to what we experience has changed completely in our household.
What kind of foods did he have to stop eating?
So he was eating a very bland diet initially. So just maybe greens. He was eating greens, maybe chicken, gluten-free pasta. Um, yeah, no nuts, no seeds, no, maybe just olive oil and salt as
Dressing.
yeah, dress. So yeah, it was a journey, like
Yeah.
cooking and preparing everything, making sure he drank the right amount of water, the supplements per hour per day.
Wow.
And then we went to London when he was ready to be on crutch. When he was on crutches, we went to London to visit the doctor physically, and we did a lot of testing to see where this inflammation came from. And it was in fact from not just the toxins of the medicine that we hadn't cleared out in his body after 4 years of medicine, but
Wow.
also because he did all the vaccines that he had not taken during those 4 years. He took at one go. I didn't know better. Um, and then all that mixed up was created a toxic terrain in his system. So I think my conclusion after this experience is that you cannot not do medicine. It saves your life. It's surgery. All these things are extremely important, but you can't do them without knowing what side effects they have on your body and detoxing that side effect.
Exactly. Yeah. But it takes some time to figure that out and develop your own agency and saying, well, I'm going to check with this doctor, I'm going to check with that doctor. And no, you can say no to the doctor, get a second opinion, third opinion. Yeah, the side effects are,
Yeah.
yeah, that's a good thing that you noticed that and that you listened to your son. Congratulations. I think it's beautiful. And you said it took a long time, 6 months, 3 months. It's okay if things take time. I think
Yes.
we're so into like, it's got to be now and click the button and,
Mm-hmm.
but things are going to take time and your body knows it has the wisdom and the capacity to heal itself.
I
To,
so believe in that. I
to
so believe in that, not only on an emotional level, but on a physical level.
100%.
If with the right environment, but it is critical to find your right environment. Not everybody, it's not a cookie cutter either, that.
Yeah.
But with the right environment, I truly believe that the body can heal itself physically and emotionally.
Yeah. It's kind of like mixed up. It's like it's not separate, I don't think.
No, it's not separate. And I'll tell you a little anecdote to that story. My son and I processed a birth trauma he had been through just before, around just when he had turned 12. I was doing the course I was doing the short course, and I found out of this birth trauma that my son had been through, and I wanted to help him process it. So we did. And 3 days later, the inflammation started
Oh, wow.
because the body was getting rid of this trauma, this emotional trauma. And usually, when we are actually getting rid of something, it is when we are healing. But then your body goes into
A little bit out of whack.
a
Yeah.
little bit of discomfort. But that's what was happening. And, kudos to him. He was so focused on getting himself healed. And he was so good about every morsel he ate. Had to be like, are you sure, mom, I can eat this? Are you?
Hmm.
So, and it gave him so much agency over his body, the way he has a relationship with what he likes to eat, what he can and cannot do, when he's tired, when he's not tired, is amazing. He has so much connection.
How old is your son now?
So he's 15, and yeah,
How's he doing now?
he's doing great. Yeah, he doesn't take any meds or anything. He eats what he wants, but mostly because we eat a lot of home cooked. We cook a lot at home.
Yeah.
and it's all healthy stuff. So at least 80% of what he eats is really good stuff.
Good
And
stuff.
that's the balance. You can't be 100% on a bland diet, right?
80/20.
80/20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said he went to the ceremony with you?
He went to the ceremony with me. He didn't know what he was getting into, neither did I, but I had a calling to take him with me. And he felt a lot of presence and grounding. And if not for anything, I told him the next day, if you lose your way in life, now you know what it feels like to come back to yourself, to
Right.
be in community, in remembrance, in prayer,
Yeah.
and we can do this together. It's something we can do together.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so beautiful. Yeah. And it completely destroys those hierarchical things about, oh, no, they're too old. No, this
No, they're
is
not too young. Oh
connection.
no.
We can connect as early
His
as
wise
possible.
soul.
Yeah. Yeah. That's really cool. So then when you like after the Gabor course and Dr. Shefali, you kind of develop your own practice. How
Yeah.
do people reach out to you or who are you working with currently?
So currently I'm only focused on my one-on-one coaching.
Mm.
Mostly it's moms that reach out to me. Um, but I've had other women who came to me to say, I'm not happy. That was their first intention.
Yeah.
I loved it. And you just unravel it. Uh, it's like a little gift you open, every intention. Um, so I work with moms, and now I think I've like been in a with this year-long course, I've been in this cocoon,
Yeah.
getting ready and just downloading what else do I have in in store and what else do I want to offer. And I'm slowly, I don't want to say, I'm slowly seeing the directions I want to go in. So one of the directions is I would like to work with Lebanese women, Arab women who want more agency to understand, because the Arab woman is not described nicely in the media.
Hmm. Right.
How many times have I said, I mean, there are many Lebanese who tell me, but you're not Arab, you're Phoenician. But
Yeah.
maybe I am Phoenician, but I'm also Arab. And that's not because I'm Muslim. That's because I'm Arab.
Right.
How many times have I said to people, I'm Arab? And they said, you Arab? So my question is, why? What did you think an Arab looks like?
Right.
Who did you think an Arab is? What is your perception of an Arab? And sorry, where did this perception come from?
Right.
So I would like to be part of that shift, part of the change that shows Arab women in a different light.
Good.
And I would like to work with Arab women who, in a way that is where we remember who we are, where we pray, where we know sacred energetic spots in our countries and honor them and thank them and revere them, actually. Yeah. So that's one area I would like to channel into. I'm also cooking something with an old friend of mine who also went on this path, and we kind of rediscovered each other later in life. Her name is Tamara Beydoun. She's not my cousin, but she comes from another Beydoun, but we're super close and we're on the same journey, and we haven't yet decided what we're going to do together, but we may hold retreats, and we don't know what form it's going to come in, but I'm still in my cocoon.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I would like to also open a women's circle that meets, actually, no, not a women's circle, a circle that meets, shares, um, prays, and let's see how that
Yeah.
develops. Yeah,
Community. That's great.
community.
Yeah.
correct. And that's very much part of my heritage, you know. I think one of the reasons why we haven't collapsed as a nation, Lebanon, with all what we've been through, the war, the economic collapse, the corruption, the every war on us, is because we have such strong community and family bonds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure South America share a lot of the same.
Yeah, it's interesting how like for many years in recovery and the spiritual seeking and then, the whole trauma and somatic practice, the whole work is always I'm always looking at for a long time, looking to figure out what's going on. So you look to figure out, oh, my parents were like this, and there was trauma and the grandparents and intergenerational stress and da da da. But also, I'm able to see the virtues, the togetherness, the support, the laughter, all these meals around, a lot of people. And yeah, there's things in there that we're working out, but it's beautiful to see also the strength, the resilience, the joy, all of the other things that these lively together cultures have, So
Yeah.
yeah,
I have a friend who just was telling me the other day that she did an internship in Lebanon in the 90s. And immediately after her internship in Lebanon, she went to Mexico to do her internship. And she felt she's in the same place, just with a different language. And I just love that.
yeah. I have a friend who's from Lebanon, and we're in San Diego. She's an attorney, and we went to Tijuana one day on a case, and we drove in, and Mexico, Tijuana, the driving is crazy, and they have like these glorietas, these circles where you go, and she's like, "Oh wow, I feel like I'm at home." You guys drive exactly the same. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, we're crazy drivers. Yeah.
So Mexicans are too, but
Yeah.
we get it done. We get it
Yeah.
done.
Oh, we get it done. We get it done. And we find every way to get it done. Like, I think it's in our blood to be problem solvers because we've had so many problems.
Yeah, not so much order. Like I'll be here in California,
Mm.
the line waiting in the traffic to turn right, but there's another line to the left completely open, and there's like 40, 50 cars, and I wonder what are people. I'm gonna go on the other line all the way to the front and ask to get in. Like, that's just what I've always done, but when you have like so many rules, so much order, you're just like following. I'm not saying break the rules. I'm just saying you don't have to stay here. You can have agency, you can go around, you can be curious,
Mm-mm.
find, other ways to get there. So yeah, there's a lot of things growing up in chaos that are, I think, helpful in
Yes, in
the way
life.
you navigate life. Yeah,
Yeah,
where
yeah,
the brain develops or whatever. Yeah, I was just, I think I told you in a training with Alexandre Tanouk. He's also from Lebanon.
yeah.
Philosophy teacher who also, he grew up in the war. He moved to the United States when he was
Mm,
14. He started
mm.
meditating at a young age. Actually, I don't know when he moved to the States, but he started to do meditation at age 14 because of, all the stress and stuff. And
Wow, that's amazing at the age 14. Wow.
yeah, I know that's what we
So
need to,
that's in the 80s probably, right?
I think so, probably.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty early. Like it wasn't even such a thing.
I mean, probably not to us, but I think it's always been a thing.
Mm,
Meditation.
correct.
It just
Yeah.
depends on where, what access you have or, yeah.
Where you are,
Your
yeah,
Yeah. I had
sure,
some
sure.
theater friends when I was 17, 18. We would do theater and, you know, they showed me how to meditate. We would practice yoga. And then I'm like, you guys aren't that good. I'm gonna go find the teacher somewhere else, because it was just all it takes is somebody to show you
Yeah,
who else is doing it. And then your own curiosity, right, to keep going.
yeah.
But yeah. So you're in Portugal now.
So we came to Portugal. Do I have time to talk about that?
Yeah, sure.
Uh, okay.
I mean, if
So,
you want.
huh?
If you want,
Sorry?
I mean, I want to go visit you in Portugal. That's why I'm like, tell me more.
Oh, you're coming to visit me for sure. So Portugal. No, I'd like to talk about Portugal because I'm seeing now more and more why I came here.
Oh,
I was looking, I was actually looking a bit to the future. from Dubai after having been there 18 years. So I was looking at the future from two perspectives. One was, where are we heading? You know, I'm not going to retire in Lebanon. I've been 18 years in Dubai. I can't handle being in this environment anymore. It's not resonating with who I was becoming.
Yeah.
And second, I wanted a place that I could settle in. And the other thing, and I have a Canadian passport, but I didn't want to go back to Canada. And the other aspect was my son. He was 9.5, and I didn't want him to be a Dubai child. Uh, you know, Dubai is a great place for kids, but you also grow in a very tight bubble where reality is very weird. You know, everyone has a big house, a big car, a pool, and you don't see poverty, you don't see old people, and
Mm.
it's. I just didn't want that for him. I wanted him to be in a place where he takes the bus to go to school, where he walks back home, where he's responsible for himself. And Portugal was popping up. They were offering golden visas, and but that's not how we came. We came in on a different kind of visa, and I moved to Portugal in January 2019. You would think I was a refugee coming on a boat because I showed up. I showed up with 4 suitcases. I left my house in Dubai with my clothes hanging and my dog in the driveway and my car there because my son got accepted at school. And I was like, I'm not waiting. And my husband was like, we can wait another year or two. No, 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 no. I'm going now. So even it was so hard. I arrived. I didn't even know what hola meant. I
Mm.
didn't know a single soul, a single word of Portuguese. I had only been to Lisbon once or twice, but I knew this is where I had to be.
Yeah.
And so the first 6 months felt like 6 years, I swear, because everything was so new, so different. I had to adapt every day, and I had to learn the language just to get by, and make a life for my son. And forget me, but I had to make a life for my son. And then COVID happened the year after, and we had another lockdown. So, and then the third winter, Leith was sick. So honestly, it took me about 4 to 5 years to start feeling settled.
Mm.
But the more I spend time here, and the more I meet like-minded people, and I meet this healing circles
Mm.
that not only are based here, but that come here to do work, the more I realize why I came. Like
Yeah.
this is a different. Portugal has this feminine, soft energy about it that and its weather and its people and its nature. It's very special, very special. The more I spend time, the more I love it more.
Yeah. I was there last year and I loved it. I mean, just for a
Oh,
couple days, but I was
okay.
like, I need to go back to just Portugal. I mean, we were in Spain. My husband's from Spain. His parents are from Spain. We went to visit family
I
and
see.
stuff. But yeah, that's
Oh,
a.
good. So you come here often, this part of the world.
I mean, I would like to go more often. Yeah.
Yeah. أهلا
Depends.
وسهلا, as we say in Arabic.
How do you say?
أهلا أهلا وسهلا يعني. Welcome, my friend, to my home.
Okay, I'm coming.
Yes.
We could do a retreat over there.
We could do a retreat. Why not? Sure. I'd love that.
Yeah. Give everyone mushrooms. Oh,
Yeah.
so much. This is what a treat. I was listening to about what you said. Forget me, my son, what we do, what the children do to teach us, right? About moving through love and to hopefully open up and explore. Like you said, that was your detonant when after he healed from his rheumatoid arthritis and you go to therapy. And it's just the momentum of love that we have for our children is just really
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah. And children do tend to crack you open because they can trigger you, right? And
Well,
they,
now,
even, they trigger us so much, like even something as simple as go brush your teeth. Go brush your teeth. I said, go brush your teeth. And then they come to me, the parents, and they're like, why am I yelling at the stupid toothbrush? Like, what is it about it? And I'm like, this is not about the toothbrushing. This is something that ignited an old wound in you of not being seen, of not being respected. And now it's showing up when your child doesn't listen to you.
Right.
It has nothing to do with the child.
Exactly. Yeah. To develop that consciousness to be like, yes, oh, this has nothing to do with the child. I mean, that's the work,
Yeah.
but man, is it
Oh,
empowering and
yes.
peaceful and calming to catch yourself, to figure it out, to practice it, because it takes practice, and to change.
And it takes a lot of commitment. So when I say when I talk about the wellness is related to that work because when we're eating well, when we're when we're sleeping well, our nervous system is doing well.
Yeah,
When we are moving and stretching and getting our heart rate up and lifting weights, especially at our age, our body is feeling well. So if you're when this is your foundation, and then on top of it, you start the meditation, you start the walks in nature, you start tuning into what you need. No, I'm not going to go to that party because I don't feel like being with 20 people tonight.
yeah,
I read a book, and all that adds to your ability to create space
yeah,
between the event and your reaction to it. So we no longer react, we start responding.
yeah, exactly.
So
And
it's not like, oh, I'm going to start meditating, create space, and that's it. No, there are a lot of other factors that you know
you have to align.
bring you to alignment, and everyone is different. So for me, it's exercising every day. I have a ton of energy that I have to get rid of in the morning. It's meditation, it's eating well, it's sleeping well, it's being with the right people
Mhm.
for me, and
Yeah, 100.
learning,
Learn.
learning.
Yeah, being open to curiosity of new things. But yeah, the there's I was reading a book. Well, I'm reading like four books at the same time. But this one is about women and the brain and how the brain shifts, after menopause and premenopause. And there's like a new, everyone calls it, oh, I have brain fog. No, it's actually your brain resetting for a new openness of different channels of more connection to your intuition and this wisdom of, elders and crones. And so, the work you're doing, the work a lot of women our age are doing is very important to turn around and sort of give space and support the younger women that are doing this type of work. There's when there's
Yes.
still more fawning and competition and bullshit. I don't know. Let's go in here. Let's look at our trauma. Let's open
And
up.
let's do it together because you're so right. You touched on something super important, the competition. No, the patriarchy has us believe that there's only room for one and one. Because women working together is extremely powerful.
Yeah.
And so
Uh-huh.
yeah, this competition is so
Strange.
misguided, is so misguided.
And it's part of the social engineering, right? Since you're in school, who got a better grade? Who's better than
Yeah,
who played here, who played there? So if
yeah.
you
Who's
catch
prettier? Who's taller? Who's that? No, 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 no.
Ooh, girl, don't get me going. My family
Yes.
all about that. Oh, did you lose some weight or did you gain
Oh
some?
my God.
You're
Like
pretty.
us in Lebanon.
You're pretty. Like, please. Oh,
Hello, how are you? You've lost weight. That's
yeah,
Lebanon.
yeah. Or, oh, you haven't. I mean, I didn't see my grandfather one time I think I was traveling. I was traveling in Europe for about a year, and then they came to Spain, and I was in Greece partying. Phew. I, for some reason, decided to call my mom because they didn't have a cell phone back then, of course.
Okay.
I was like 19 years old. I called her. Where have you been? Your grandparents are coming and you have to go spend a week with them in Madrid and you need to fly out. And I was like, oh, I forgot about that. But the most worrisome was like, I had gained like 15 pounds. I was like, I can't lose 15 pounds in 2 days. They're gonna kill me. I was like, well, what am I gonna do? I was exercising, going to the gym, but I was just, eating and drinking
Drinking, eating.
bedtime pasta. So I go to get like a big little overall, fluffy little overall. I thought maybe they won't notice. Get to the airport. No. The first thing they said when they picked me up, and I was 19, my grandfather was like, well, hello, fatty.
I can so relate. Oh
Oh
my,
shit, they
I
got me.
can. Oh my God. Oh my God.
It was hilarious. I was with him for 1 week in a very fancy hotel with very fancy dinners and going to theater and I lost probably 7 pounds in that week because my grandmother, every time the waiter, she's not having bread and she's not having dessert, you know? I was like, all right. I mean, she's just strange. She's like, you can eat
Oh,
whatever you want, but a very little piece of it,
uh-huh.
and I was out over there for a year, just, yeah, it was just, I mean,
That's
now I can
that's
laugh.
funny, but actually, that's very sad. That's actually very sad and traumatizing for a child. I would get when I was young, I would get like they would hold my face, all the aunties, and say, "Such a shame, this face, such a shame."
It's just horrible. Yeah.
Yeah,
So maybe we learn from that and not keep doing
maybe
it
learn from that. Yeah, absolutely.
and talk
Amen.
about it. Talk
And
about
talk, yes, yes, and and it's. I remember my sister was so happy she had lost a few kilos. And my aunt looked at her and she's like, "You don't need 4 kilos, you need 15 in front of everybody, the whole family." I
it.
mean, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's not funny, actually. It's actually quite disturbing for that child to feel that way.
Yeah.
But
And it's
it shifts your body image. It shifts the way you feel comfortable in your body as a woman, even in your sexuality. It affects it all.
all of it. And it speaks so much about the person giving the judgment as well, because they're obviously in their own self-loathing. But let me dish it out to you.
Mm.
And which
Yes,
helps to
yes,
understand that it's not about you, it's about that other person's, but it affects you regardless. I mean,
100%. Gosh, I've been dealing with it since then.
yeah. Yeah. So there's other ways. It's a good thing we're changing the narrative,
Yes.
connecting to our own intuition and
And it's beautiful to see the younger generation. Yes, they are. I mean, now with social media, it's actually scary how girls are. I mean, if I had social media growing up,
oh
I
man,
probably would have committed suicide, I think.
would not have been good.
No,
Because
it would not have been good.
it's a lot of stress for them. It's very
Mm.
profoundly
And
impactful.
there's more, you hear more of teenage anxiety, suicidal ideations, eating disorders. It's happening.
If you're a parent, you're listening to this, your mom, share this podcast, go to
Yes.
therapy, do your own inner work. It's okay. You're not alone.
Come to me. You're
No,
not alone.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jasmine, for
Wow, this was a beautiful conversation.
super,
Thank you.
right? It's a good podcast to come and hang out in.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
everybody, for listening. I am going to put Jasmine's information on here, her email or webpage, whatever she has, so that you guys can reach her. And thank you very much for sharing your story. The more we
Mm.
share, the more we allow others to see that it's possible to heal, that we're not alone, and that we all need to be able to find our own way. That's part of what we're here for, right? That's the evolution. So, yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
Yeah. Thank you.